Hello, welcome to my weekly look ahead video. Bad news about the football, but life moves on and we need to move on. The other bad news I heard about at the weekend is a really nasty incident in Lancing Village where a young 15-year-old lad who is a really good violinist, who often plays his violin at the country market and in local homes, was set upon by a gang of youths, chased down South Street and had to seek refuge in the Co-op. Now, I know the police are looking for the perpetrators, but there have been a few nasty incidents like this, and we've really got to clamp down on this sort of antisocial behaviour. I'm really pleased one of the local councillors has set up a GoFundMe page, and they're trying to raise money and has raised quite a lot already to buy the young lad a new violin. So if you know anything about it, please let the police have the details. Now, it's a really busy week in Parliament this week. We've got some legislation. We've just debated the Higher Education Freedom of Speech Bill, which is all about the cancel culture, which is proving a real problem on university campuses. That's a place where free speech should blossom and people should be free to say what they feel. We've had an important vote today, and I've had quite a lot of emails about this. We've just had a vote on whether we should keep the 0.7% commitment on overseas aid, or whether it should temporarily be reduced to 0.5% as the government had indicated. I voted that it should be kept at 0.7%. That was a manifesto pledge that I stood on. Alas, I wasn't in the majority, but the government have pledged they will bring it back as soon as the finances allow it. I think that's a shame. We've also got an important vote on making vaccinations compulsory for care home workers, which I have some serious reservations about and will be voting against, because I don't think you can make vaccinations compulsory. Absolutely, we want as many people as possible to take them up, but it does have other implications, and I think the legislation is flawed. We've got the Health and Care Bill coming up this week. It's an important bit of reform legislation in the NHS. It's also about creating an integrated care system between health, hospitals and social care at the moment, which needs to be much more seamless than it actually is. Then we've got debates on Thursday about the Northern Ireland Protocol, which is still proving problematic, and then I'm leading a debate which will have a vote at the end of it, asking the government to have a diplomatic boycott of the Beijing Winter Olympics next year. I just don't think we should be sending ministers, diplomats, officials to the Olympics in a country where they're guilty of genocide, and I've said a lot about that in the past. I've got meetings this week with midwives from the southeast. Really interesting developments going on for babies and our maternity departments, and a lot's going on in the NHS there. I've had a round table of experts in the early help area, making sure we get proper support for families before they get into crisis. We've got the Home Affairs Select Committee this week, which is taking evidence about border entry and issues at the border, people coming into airports, and with all the COVID checks and everything else as well, to see how that is going. I've got a meeting about health visitors. I'm also meeting the Sutton Trust, a great charity dealing with social mobility. On Friday, the usual briefings around the state of vaccinations. I've been having meetings with local GPs as well about how they're doing, catching up with some of the backlog of non-COVID cases too. And then also on Friday, we've got a big summit for Sussex businesses, with Liz Truss, the International Trade Secretary, coming down to talk about how we can do better on export. So really busy week, some important votes and lots going on, and hopefully some sunshine at the weekend, and I'll see you out and about in the constituency.